Welcome back. Today I want to talk about enlightenment. I was talking with a very advanced yogi who recently became a student of mine, and he said he was with a meditation group and he kept asking them, what is enlightenment? What is enlightenment? And he always got some kind of wishy-washy answer. And he finally realized that they can't answer it. They just can't. And he went all the way through the organization. Nobody could really give him a straightforward answer. What is enlightenment? I told him I can. And he's like, really? So before I present this to you, I just want to say, some people don't, I'm going to ground this in the body. And I think that's humongous. And this didn't happen with me right away. This kind of unfolded over 25 years, that I ground everything in meditation in the body itself. And some people, that bothers them. And I get it, because I was there too. They want spirituality to be somewhere out there, It's not in the body, because this is what I am now, and it's not what I want. And so it must be out there somewhere. And so I just want to turn back to the Gita. This might be the Mahabharata. Might not be in the Gita. Can't remember off the top of my head. But the second wife of Shantanu her name was Satyavati. And before that, her name was Matsya Gandha. And I'm sorry if I mispronounce these, forgive me. What Matsya Gandha translates is, what the meaning of that name is smells like a fish. And so she was very, very beautiful. And that's the way the body looks to us. It's very pleasurable and appealing to us. And so we come to the body, it's very beautiful, but it actually smells like a fish. The pleasures of the body will always lead us to a dead end. And that's just mathematical. That's how it works. It cannot fulfill us, however much we would like it to. And so that's her name. She smells like a fish. And poor woman. Through the tale of the Mahabharata, the body becomes purified, and the sage Parashar blesses her. Her name becomes Padmagandha, which means smelling like a lotus. And that is the process for us in meditation. The body becomes blessed by sadhana, by the work of meditation. Krishna is very clear on this as well. He says, this body only is Kurukshetra. So the spirituality that and the states that we are interested in meditation, enlightenment itself may be experienced through the cosmos, but its home is in you. And so where is it that you are experiencing it? And that's what we're going to talk about. So to present this, I want to talk about 3 books. And the first, I've already talked with you guys about. It's Iain McGilchrist, The Master and His Emissary. And there's 2 other books by Iain McGilchrist, and those are a shorter read. But if you want the whole thing, which is just amazing, Iain McGilchrist is a genius, and every second of his books are worth reading. And he will show you all of the science behind his conclusions. And it's really amazing. What he's talking about is that the left brain is the servant and the right brain is the master. You need that hint, you need that understanding to unravel what is enlightenment, where is it coming from in the body. And the story that I really like the most from Iain McGilchrist is the story of the bird. So the bird acts as a predator when he's looking for the seed on the ground. And so he will look with his right eye, and he will go like this and look down at the seed. And I'm sure you've seen a chicken or a bird do that at some point. It's like, I'm going to peck that. And he looks down with it with his right eye, because the right eye is cross-connected to the left brain. And the left brain is sequential, and it's the predator in us. It's the action-oriented, and we're always grasping with our right hands. We're pointing with our right hands. And when we do something with our left hands, that's the right side, that's the exploratory side. And we kind of go like this, right? We're looking for something. So that's a big difference between the two. The left is like this, and the right is like this. So that's a binary thing. So that's really what Iain McGilchrist really shines a light on so well. The second book is really, really beautiful. It's Satya Sharan in the Abode of Truth. And this is the grandson of Lahiri Mahasaya. So you have Lahiri Mahasaya, then his son Tinkuri Lahiri, and then you have Satya Sharan Lahiri. And In the Abode of Truth, Satya Sharan in the Abode of Truth is an amazing book. It's a very short book, it's a small book. I'm going to have links for all these books below, by the way. The vendor for this book is in India, and I've ordered this book from them, and it came very quickly, very reliably. So in that book, Satya Sharan reveals to 3 of his closest students the culmination of his yoga sadhana. Now, when it happens, he doesn't know that. And this is a really interesting story. It's a very good teaching story, because just because you're in the highest state does not automatically mean that you know every single thing. So he's meditating, and then this state arrives, and it kind of freaks him out. And he doesn't know what it is. He's never heard of it. No one ever mentioned it to him. And so he goes to all the big Baba teachers in India that he can get his hands on. And he asks all of them about this state. And he asks them if they've experienced it, if they can tell him about it, what it is, where it's mentioned in the scriptures. And I could have told him, probably it's not going to work. And indeed, that's what happened. It didn't work. Nobody could help him. Nobody could tell him anything. And so he was forced to go back to his grandfather's diaries, 26 of them, 26 diaries, and he poured himself through them. And I could have told him that too. You got to go to your grandfather. So he goes to his grandfather's diaries, he pours himself through them, and there he finds it. Lahiri Mahasaya is meditating. He writes down in his diary, and he says, I met myself in meditation. A younger, perfect form of himself in meditation through the window of the spiritual eye. He met himself. And Satya Sharan says, that's it. That's what's happening to me. And what he describes to his students is that he will be washing the plate. So you're washing the plate and you're looking down at your hands as you wash the plate. But what would happen to him as he would look in the spiritual eye, he would also see himself as a 365-degree view. He would see himself above himself. He would see his own body washing the dish. And it freaked him out. He wasn't ready for that. No one explained that this was going to happen to him. And over time, he became used to it, and he found scriptural references to it. And he told his 3 closest students, this is the culmination of sadhana. Because he viewed himself and his body would dissolve into light. Sometimes it would be blue, which represents divinity. And he realizes, that's my Purana Purusha. That's myself. I am meeting myself at all times through the gateway of the spiritual eye. See, everybody knows the definition of nirvikalpa samadhi, the highest samadhi, which is to view your Purana Purusha, that is your higher self, continuously throughout the day in an unbroken state. Okay, everybody knows that. But see, nobody actually knows what it's like, and nobody's written about it except Satya Sharan. He is the only one. And there are other scriptural references to this, but nobody has ever described this. And that's why this book is so important, why Kriya Yoga from Lahiri Mahasaya is so important, and why Satya Sharan is so much my hero. So when I read that, I freaked out, because from studying Iain McGilchrist, I knew this is the right brain. This is the right brain. That's the dichotomy between the left and the right brain. So in the left brain, he sees his hands as he's washing the dish. And from the right brain, which is designed to see everything at once, because the bird looks down at the seed, right? He's in predator mode. And while you're in predator mode, you are vulnerable. You have to be aware of everything around you so you yourself do not become eaten. That's what nature says, right? In the culmination of yoga sadhana, you become awake and not only the left brain and identified with the left brain, but also identified with the right brain. Simultaneously, that is nirvikalpa samadhi. That's the highest state. Okay, you're with me so far, right? You're like, okay, Iain McGilchrist, yeah, I get it. Oh, okay, yeah, Sacharan, whatever he says, I'm going to listen to that, right? Of course, but I don't know about this left-right brain thing you're telling me about, Forrest. So here's your proof. Jill Taylor, in her amazing book, My Stroke of Insight. Jill is a neuroscientist, and she's at home when suddenly she has a blood clot on the left side of her brain, right in the area of language. Two key processes in the left brain start to shut down. And Jill, as she's known herself all this time, begins to disappear. And she makes it to the hospital. And what I invite you to do is read her book. It's amazing. From chapter 7 on is very, very important. Read that whole thing. The entire thing is a yoga manual in reverse. So she starts out in samadhi because the left brain shuts down during her stroke, and she defaults to the right brain, and her perception spreads out everywhere throughout the entire universe, and she feels absolutely euphoric, and all of her left brain personality, whatever is going on in her life which is troubling her, completely disappears and dissolves, and she finds herself in bliss. And she says in the book, I wish everybody could experience this safely. She says, because I think it would be enlightening. It's not just enlightening, it is enlightenment, Jill. Dr. Jill Taylor, thank you so much for your book. You have given us such a gift. That state that she experienced is samadhi. That's it. That's savikalpa samadhi, right? That's a samadhi where you become immobilized. And indeed, Jill talks about this, how she became immobile in that state. Everything transfers into the right brain. All the associations transfer into the right brain, and the left brain temporarily shuts down. That was her experience. Now, she had to have a surgery to relieve the blood clot, and then was able to slowly rebuild her personality. And that's why I say this is yoga in reverse. It's really amazing. Chapter 7, she has the stroke, and then she begins in samadhi, and then she regains her personality and begins to learn how to manage that personality. And so the whole thing is yoga in reverse. It's amazing. And it absolutely proves everything that I've been saying to you, that the right brain is where we experience the higher self. It is where it's located in us. And the highest state is when both sides of the brain work at the same time, that we can become identified with either side, and that is nirvikalpa samadhi. And that's it. That's enlightenment. Isn't that amazing? And it's right there. It's sitting right inside of you. It's there all the time. And all we have to do is get rid of a few things that are in the way, temporarily, just put them on hold. Put certain brainwaves on hold, that we can begin to experience the right side of the brain. So I hope this blew your mind, because I'm really happy and excited to be sharing. You're not going to hear this anywhere else. I've never heard anyone say emphatically that the right brain is where enlightenment happens. No one has ever defined savikalpa and nirvikalpa, samadhi, in this way. So thanks for watching. If this was valuable for you, go ahead and hit that bell down there so you get notified the next time I come around, and I'll see you guys next time. Isn't it a beautiful day?